Ladies and gentlemen, I've been trying to do this video recording for nearly an hour. Between 30 minutes to an hour. I've lost track of how much time I tried to do this. I recorded, then I stopped. I recorded and I stopped because I was so badly frustrated. You guys don't understand. For me, wrestling is something special. It has a mystique to it. If you don't look too deeply, this is for me. Everyone else is different. You guys can love looking deep into the wrestling business to understand the nuances of it. Some of you don't even give a damn. You don't want to go that deep. I'm the type of person that cares about understanding it enough to really enjoy it, but not delving so deep into it that I get lost in the shuffle of it, that I lose the love of it. When you look at the show, there's nothing to love. This was the worst show I've seen since maybe 2014. This is the worst show I've ever seen with the WWE. I know there's going to be some people going to say, oh, this was a great show. Or some say going to be, this is a good show. For me personally, this was the worst show I've seen in almost 2 years. The worst. You are building into WrestleMania 32. Into a venue in Texas that's supposed to sell at 105,000 seats. And this is the best you can give us. I'll explain my point of view right now. And I'm explaining Dean Ambrose versus Braun Strowman. When you saw what happened with Terry Funk and the chainsaw, I'm going to put those images in there. I didn't do it with Mick Foley because I didn't feel it was necessary to show the freaking bat. But when you see him cutting up the damn table, and who the hell is the girl in the background? It looked like Alicia Fox, but her boobs look a lot bigger than Alicia Fox's. Probably she's from some girl from NXT. She looked good. Her boobs looked nice. But that couldn't save the fact of what happened at the end of the show. When you look at what happened during the end of the show, and the crowd in the very beginning didn't really cheer for Dean, but eventually they did cheer for him. But by the time he got the neck pinch by Braun Strowman, they were booing his ass. They were saying this is boring. This is boring to the guy they wanted to be the headlining of WrestleMania with Brock Lesnar. I mean, you know he wasn't going to be at the end of the show, but you know you're going to go to WrestleMania. You're headlining it. Even if you're not in the very end of the show, the most important spot, you are important. And right now, they've been wanting him to work, hell, with a Triple H. But when you see this, do you actually think it's going to be good with Brock Lesnar in a street fight? No. I don't see nothing going to be good with Brock Lesnar and him in a street fight. Now here's another thing. Kevin Owens. I've always liked Kevin since he came out, at least until they started booking him bad. But when you see how much they don't care about Kevin and how much they don't care about the title, what are we getting? It's not the story that's the issue here. It's not. It's not the story. You know what the WWE could have done? They could have, in the beginning of the year, I've always said this about the Royal Rumble. You see I'm botching my words. What I've always said about the Royal Rumble, why couldn't you have 2 titles on the line for WrestleMania? One will be for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. The other one is for the IC Championship. Make them both important. But what do we get? We get first, I'm not even going to explain what happened with Sin Cara and everybody else. What I'm saying is this. Steph now gives us a freaking ladder match. Didn't we get that last year? Can they not be more original for the IC Championship? We have a freaking ladder match for the IC Championship. They did that last year. And what did we get? We got a Daniel Bryan who won that title and then had to relinquish it because he was too hurt to maintain it. Now we're about to get a ladder match again. And I'm saying this honestly. The Lex Man said it best. How many people right now do we have hurt? We have Daniel Bryan who's no longer able to compete. We have Sting who's no longer able to compete. We got John Cena out. We have basically Nikki Bella out because of injury. We currently have Tyson Kidd out. Cesaro out. Seth Rollins is out. Right now, Neville has now recently got hurt and he's out. And also, the person who was just seen earlier in a Bray Wyatt, he's injured. And he looks like he's going to try and work through it, but he's probably going to go out too. Now you're going to do something stupid, WWE. You're going to give us a ladder match at the most important pay-per-view you've ever had. And instead of giving us something entirely different, like, I know this Leg Daddy doesn't want to see El Generico versus Kevin Steen again. But no one's really seen generally ROH, who is usually a WWE fan, unless they're a hardcore wrestling fan. You could get something special with that. Hell, you could have done Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, or you could have done Kevin Owens or The Miz. That would have been something that would have been working. You could have actually turned Kevin Owens' face with The Miz, but no. We're now going to have a freaking ladder match where these guys are going to get hurt. And we already got a whole bunch of people out, and that's stupid. This is stupid. Here's another thing stupid. And that is AJ Styles and Chris Jericho. AJ had a match with Kevin Owens. He didn't win because of Chris interfering. Then you got Chris Jericho versus Fandango. Oh my goodness. By the great spirit of the earth. When was the last time we saw Fandango? Johnny Curtis. I almost forgot his freaking name. I haven't seen this guy since last freaking year. Since last year, and that was maybe in the beginning of the year of 2015. I have not seen him in months on Raw. If you guys have seen him, fine. I have not seen him in months on Raw. Maybe even a year. Of course, he had a job, but the point is, we're not going to have a match between AJ Styles and Chris Jericho again. With, unless you're going to do it at the last minute, no stipulation. No stipulation for a match we've seen multiple times. Where instead of waiting, break them away for several months, let them be tag champions after several months, maybe 4 or 5 months separated. Let them come together. Let them actually have a title run. Then cause them to fight one another to lose that title. And then you could do it at a signature pay-per-view, maybe at Survivor Series. Maybe at, hell, SummerSlam could have worked too. Even though it is kind of far too close. But you get my point. If there's no stipulation, why am I going to watch AJ versus Chris Jericho when I've seen it already 3 times already? And they touch too much. Breathe. Here's another thing that upset me. Naomi. Now, I should be really happy about this. Naomi and Alicia Fox had a segment with, I don't even remember this guy's name. I don't watch his show, so I don't pay no damn attention. I care about wrestling, not about the freaking sitcom that comes after the damn wrestling match. And after the wrestling show itself. I'm glad to see Naomi actually got a moment. I'm glad she got something. I don't care about Alicia. And as much as I do care about Natalya. I do. I'm not going to lie. I do care for Natalya. I do. I love her boobs. As much as Naomi's. There's some boobs there that I like. But this is not about them. This is about freaking Snickers. Calling the bar Drama Mama doesn't make it any better. And Naomi, I'm glad to get her on television and something other than Team Bad. But when are you going to push her, WWE? When are you going to do something with a woman who has a natural talent in the ring, where she's energetic, where people like her? Your merch is selling, as far as I understand, when it comes to Naomi stuff in Team Bad. Her face is on your website, and you're selling freaking merch of Team Bad. When are you going to get it for your fucking head? Push this woman. And that gets me to her husband and her brother-in-law, the Usos. Breathe. When it came to R-Truth and Goldust getting beat down by Bubba and Devon, I didn't care. I didn't care. When it came to the Usos, I did care because the Usos were freaking booed. You guys tell me what just happened. The Usos, who were hot last year, of course, Jay got hurt. You can't do anything about that. But you didn't do anything with Jimmy. You didn't give him any spotlight while his brother was gone. You could have done something special with Jimmy. You could have. And you didn't do anything special with him. And what happened with him and The Miz and Naomi was not enough. That was supposed to be about Naomi. It was not supposed to be about The Miz and Jey Uso. And now, a year later, where the Usos were freaking hot, what do we get? Nothing. They were freaking booed. They were freaking booed. In Pennsylvania, no, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm sorry, I'm so frustrated right now, I'm forgetting where the place was. In Philly, a place where they should be liked, they got booed. Dean Ambrose, earlier in my review, and at the end of the show, was called boring with Braun Strowman. This is bad, ladies and gentlemen. This is bad. And since I was talking about Natalya and Charlotte, a match that could be a WrestleMania moment on its own. The family of the Flairs versus the family of the Harts could have worked if you weren't willing to let a Sasha Banks go up against a Ric Flair, just like the Sleg Daddy said, and let Snoop Dogg go up against the Nature Boy, which actually would probably give us a lot. And if you only could do Natalya and Charlotte, you could have brought Jim the Anvil Neidhart. When was the last time we saw him on TV? We haven't. You could have brought, I know that Bret Hart is currently fighting cancer. Prostate cancer. And I know he's going through radiation treatment. He really can't do the show. But he could have done something pre-recorded and could have been done on the Titantron saying, my niece is the toughest girl out there and she will never give up. You could have done something like that. Hell, you could do that with Jim the Anvil Neidhart if you can't do no traveling. You could have done something special. And what do we get? We get Natalya and we got Charlotte again. I see nothing for this match when it comes to Natalya. No, you see I'm getting things confused. When it comes to Becky, Sasha, and Charlotte, I don't see nothing good of this coming out of it. They may give off a decent match, but I don't see nothing good. This is getting bad. This is getting bad. And let's talk about the New Day. Briefly, because there's no real reason to talk about this much. The New Day is beyond hilarious. I love them. They're still funny, even though Lads, the League of Dummies, just weren't that funny. And Brudios was. It always came down to New Day getting over, which they will. It's just sad to see New Day having to work with League of Nations because they have no one else for them to go up against. If it had to come down to it, I want to see New Day go up against the freaking Social Outcast. Because the Social Outcast, who dealt with Big Show, was funny. And here's the sad thing about that entire segment when it came down to Big Show. We know, we've always seen him flip back and forth as heel, face, heel, face, heel, face, heel. Ah! Make up your mind, WWE. Stop turning him heel and face every couple of months. I'm tired of it. But the point of the matter is this. I felt sorry for him. You know why? Because the segment he actually did was really good. Because it wasn't the fact he said the Memorial Battle Royal was special. And it is. It's that Battle Royal should be used to put new stars over. And I know Big Show's an old star. And I'm not saying for him to be the one to win the Battle Royal for a second time. Unless he's retiring, I would understand why they would let him have it a second time. But that Battle Royal is meant for someone special. Cesaro should have been given that moment. And they buried his ass. Now I look at it this year. It's been around 2 years. At least. I don't even remember when they introduced it. What is it, WrestleMania 30? So it's been around 2 or 3 years now. I don't even remember when they introduced it. But the point is, it should be making new stars. And it isn't. And seeing that Big Show talk eloquently, it hurts me. Because that should be helping big men. You know what that battle royal should be? For large men, not small men. The Andre the Giant Battle Royal should be with the large men in the business. It should be Big Show, Braun Strowman. It should be with Luke Harper, Eric Rowan. You know who else should be able to get it? Kaz. He's currently in NXT. Throw him into the mix. Any men that are over 5'6" should be allowed to participate in that. I believe Titus O'Neil might actually fit the bill for that as well. He's tall enough to be into the Battle Royal. Anyone over 5'6" should be allowed to participate. Or 5'5" for that matter. It should be a big man's championship in a sense. A gift to Andre the Giant to show that we care about big men. And we're getting shit. That Battle Royal should be used to get big men over. And it's not being used. And this is bullshit. Of course, Kane was shown. Kane chokeslammed the Big Show off the second turnbuckle. But it meant nothing. And now I'm ending this right now with the last thing I want to talk about. And that is about just before the Dean Ambrose-Braun Strowman match. Which should have been talked about in the very beginning. Vince. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with these people. I don't know what's wrong with Vince. This is an important thing. Raw's control is on the line. And he decides at near the end of the show, instead of dropping Steph, her titties look good, but it doesn't mean that she's necessary in the beginning of the show with Roman Reigns, who got the biggest freaking boo of the entire night. It should have been Vince, and he should have said his line and then left, like dropping the mic, like basically a pipe bomb going off. Because that's what this entire show is about. It should be about Vince saying simply, if The Undertaker does not win, he's out. No more working for me. He's fired. If Shane loses, he's disowned. I still say that Shane should be forced to give up the McMahon name and go by his wife's name. That would be more traumatic. More special. But they're not doing that. So, this show, with that little short segment of the most important part of the show, is bullshit. This show is ugly and not in a good way. I don't know how to feel about watching WrestleMania now after seeing this show. There's 13 days left. I don't know if I even want to watch the show. It's this bad. If anyone else liked this show, give me a reason why I should like this show. Give me a reason why I should be really hyped for WrestleMania after seeing this. Because as far as I'm concerned, this show was shit. And WrestleMania is going to be shit. Unless they do something in the last 2 weeks to change my mind, or week, I don't even know. But let's wait and see. So I hope you enjoyed the Zane View. Please give me a comment below. My next episode of Kofi Kingston will be released soon. You guys have a good day and have a good night. Peace!